Well, thank you for showing up. Well, but you couldn't do anything about it. It just happened. So, are there any questions so far? Yeah. Yeah, all I want you to know, you don't have to do anything. You're already perfect the way you are. You're already enlightened. There's nothing to do. This is it. So, no hope, no promises. It's just this. It's so easy. And what?
End of talk.
In the talk?
End of talk.
End of talk, yeah. So thanks for sharing. Yeah. Now let's come up with a story. And yeah. Yeah, in my daily life, I give talks for businesses. So I'm talking about non-duality, but they haven't got a clue that I'm talking about it. So otherwise, no one would book me anymore. But it's fun, and in Holland, a lot of people seem to be open for it, even leaders. So it's fun. Yeah, life is simple, not easy. That's a quote I like. Why is it so simple? Because everything is just exactly as it is. It couldn't be different from what it is. So it's simple. But it's not easy because life has the tendency of flip-flopping us all the way around and putting us in stress and fear and all the emotions. And that just goes on. So it's not always easy, but it's always simple because it's always just as it is. All of you, of course, know a lot about non-duality. And what it does, it's like in the 17th century, we discovered that the Earth was actually round and not flat. And it was a huge shock for people. But I think we live in a time where we've got another shock. First of all, there's no free will. And first of all, you don't exist. I mean, that's a shock. So the movie The Matrix, maybe you've seen it, they also use the metaphor with the blue pill and the red pill. And to me, the interesting thing is we live in this reality. We experience ourselves, like here, as if we are individuals, and it looks for me as if I'm the one talking now. It even seems to be real for me that I am the one deciding what words I speak. It's not true, but it's the reality that's been created in this illusion, which is fun. So, it is fun, yeah. You don't have to get rid of that. If you have the red pill, they say, no, everything is simply one consciousness, one energy, whatever. And it's just happening. And this is really weird to hear this for the first time, because we're so conditioned to believe this is true. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the red pill. And I have to say, you only have to remember one thing. And that is that everything that I'm telling you is not true. It's impossible for me to know the truth. I can only point at certain things, but nothing I say, it are just words. It's absolutely nonsense. So don't believe me, relax, be lazy. Now, so we see the world through our own glasses, and that's the blue pill reality. We think we're separate, for instance. It's like optical illusions. I showed this yesterday also. I don't know if it's working with this beamer, but it seemed, it's working, yeah. If you had a lot of beer last night, you see everything like this. So it's an optical illusion, just like this one. It's like, yeah, it's moving. Although every square is exactly as big as the other one, and this one created in real life. By accident, there was the shade of a flag, so you think there's a floating carpet. Yeah, it's fun. Also with text, we go to school to learn, but for the brain, it's absolutely not necessary. You just can read it. Yeah. So, the next time you're writing a love letter, yeah. Maybe if you're dyslexic, you always read like this. I don't know, but Well, so we cannot know what is true. We have absolutely got no idea. Even science is absolutely not true. It's just also a pointer, and it's just it depends on the way you look at things. Maybe you've seen this one yesterday. How many faces do you see? You still remember? 10, yeah. If you haven't seen them, I'll show you. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can only do it once. Were you there yesterday, sir, with the presentation?
I saw it in the back as you were.
Okay. Oh, okay. What do you see here? That was astonishing, yeah.
I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, me neither. But Well, in companies, I show them, this is,
I can see two things.
oh, a bottle,
A bottle,
and
lovers.
yeah, that's because your brain is focused on drinking and sex. Yeah. Yeah. But I can assure you the rest of the audience only saw dolphins. That's what we saw. Yeah. That's not a problem. Yeah. Also, this one, this is the, this is the Mask of Charlie Chaplin. It's turning inwards. You see the outside now, you're going to see the inside, but our brain is not capable of seeing the inside because we've been conditioned to only see faces with noses outside. So now you see it's coming towards you again. And now the brain is like, what's happening? So again, just try. It's weird, huh? So, but also what we see isn't that much. If we talk with someone, we only stare each other in one eye. When I'm talking to you, I'm staring at your right eye. That's very clear to me, and everything else is blurry. So I want you to focus on only this spot. Keep focusing, and I'll show you all kinds of Hollywood stars. Keep focusing on here. The longer you focus, the more the brain will manipulate their faces, and they become really ugly. But there's nothing wrong with these pictures. It's just your brain creating this illusion. It's strange. It is. Yeah. Yeah, George Clooney looks better now, I guess. Okay, have a look. Have you got audio with this? Here we are.
Just trying to work out where I'm going.
We are here.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think it's sort of there.
You see, we don't see that much, so they switch man, and we don't see it. And, well, they tried it again. Look at this.
Sorry, are you able to get some calls from here? Do you know where we're on here?
And which direction did we go?
Hang on, let's get my bearings. Liverpool Street, right, okay, we are...
Is that down in this direction now?
Yeah, that road there is Old
It's
Fort.
amazing how many things we don't see. Okay, is this metro going away, or is it coming towards you? Because there are different parts of the brain competing with each other. Your left part says it's that way, the right part's going that way. If you focus at different points, you will see that it's moving the other way around. Also this one. Is it turning to the right or to the left? Yeah, if you move your head a little like this or this, it will turn the other way. So we're so used to think in patterns, and if you do something that's out of the box, then we also always are surprised. This, like this guy, look, he picks up the ball, and everyone's like, huh? What's he doing? And he's like, bye-bye. It's so smart. Boing. You can only do it once, but it's working. So we think inside the box in patterns, and if you do something different, it's like the brain's confused. It's like, huh? And you run. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. So what's interesting about neuroscience to me is that we now know that our unconscious brain is amazing. It's processing about 11.2 million bits each second. This means our brain is 10 million times as fast as a computer. It's amazing. We are amazing beings. The only thing is our consciousness is only 60 bits. So actually we have got absolutely no idea what we're doing. So we don't. Because right now, for instance, your 60 bits, your awareness is at my voice. But you've been sitting on a chair for like 20 minutes. You can feel the pressure against your bum and back. And now go with your awareness to the feeling against your back. Right now, you're not aware of your breathing. And now go with the 60 bits. Breathe in like this. Now you're not aware of the position of your feet. And now the 60 bits go to the feet. So your consciousness is like a torch in a total black environment. It's like from one point to another. So, and we think we are aware of something, but we just are not. And your unconscious brain always wins. I mean, it's also with addiction. Then I'm sitting on the couch and my 60 bits are, okay, tonight, Paul, I'm not gonna drink beer. And then 30 minutes later, as if I'm the kind of a zombie and I just walk to the fridge. Your 60 bits. Well, this is interesting because this is doing everything and our 60 bits are only coming up with a story afterwards. It's funny. So if something goes well, we take all the credit. If something goes wrong, we start blaming other people. Blah, blah. And we call this having a meeting in companies. It's only like excuses and stuff. So, okay, so for instance with baseball, if at the moment he's throwing the ball, you only have got approximately 0.4 seconds to hit the ball. So this is a total unconscious thing. He's blinking, he's throwing the ball 3 times. Just blink your eye at the moment he's throwing the ball. And you'll see it's already on your forehead by then. So this is what's happening. He's throwing the ball, and then the light of the ball reaches the eye, and in the back of the brain comes the idea, there's a ball coming. And then it's already there. Then the unconscious brain decides, am I going to hit the ball, yes or no? Is it a true or is it a false ball? Once it has done that, the ball is already here. And then the brain makes the great move and hits the ball. So the guy is only becoming aware of what he has done when the ball's already gone. But for instance, with penalties, it's not possible. This is the Dutch goalkeeper. Oh, yeah, there he is. Look, and then you see you only got 0.3 seconds, so even before he's hitting the ball, he has to decide which way to dive. Yeah. Well, bummer. But, yeah. This was in the final 1967. Panenka, he's shooting it through the middle. He knows the keeper will dive anyway. It's a clever thing. This goalkeeper is amazing. It's funny, yeah. And these are the 60 bits. Huh? It's like, oh, it's me. Yeah. Our ego is such a funny thing. It is. So also in the war with Afghanistan, this is the latest technology. Then these army guys had to scan all the satellite images to see if there were like bunkers or military bases. It took them months. This is the new technology. The same guy, he has got a brain scanner on his head. And those images are going so fast, he has got absolutely no idea whether he sees a military base or not. But his unconscious brain sees it, so they measure. And when it peaks, it turns dark and red on the satellite map, and the only thing they have to do is zoom in, and then they know, here we find the military bases. Yeah. This is creepy, yeah. But I'm sure if you ask that guy, well, how do you do this? That his 60 bits will be like, yeah, well, I'm an expert. And yeah, that's what we do. So also when you practice for 10,000 hours, not that you've got a choice in doing that, but then the unconscious brain becomes so well trained, you become a professional, like playing guitar. It also goes. Break. It's the world champion beatboxing. He has trained 10,000 hours. Or like with soccer, this is an amateur soccer player. He didn't train enough. They give him the ball and then they suddenly turn off the light. Well, his name is Ronald. Ronald hasn't got a clue what happened. So they give the ball, turn off the light, and his brain is like, what? Well, then they asked Cristiano Ronaldo from Real Madrid, can you do the same? And it's amazing, but the ball is as easily going straight into the goal. And then they look at what's happening. So his unconscious brain is so well trained that almost in every circumstance it knows what to do. So you see, even he's diving the ball into the goal. That's amazing. And here he is shooting the ball with his feet. And of course this is astonishing, that there's actually a brain inside Ronaldo. Well, here, this is interesting. Even the ball moves, the light goes out even before the ball leaves the feet, and even then he gets it in. So it's amazing what we can do as human beings. So it goes from I'm separate and I have free will to the realization that there's actually, we're just happening. It's such a relaxed realization because you're perfect, everything's okay, this is it. Welcome to my talk. Today we're going to talk a little bit about non-duality. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. No.
No, never.
Well, it's quite easy. Non-duality, it means not two, so therefore there's only it's just one. Everything is one energy. And as everything is made out of the same stuff, everything is also just happening. And so the eagle flies, and the grass is growing, and rain is falling down. And we are sitting in a bar. It's all just happening. You got it?
Yeah, got it.
Cool. But our brain is fucking with us. Because it's creating the idea that you are a person, that you are a separate individual, and it's creating the illusion that you can control life, or that you have to be someone, or that you need a big car. And that's of course a lot of bullshit, because everything is one energy and everything is just happening.
So you're saying that everything is just as it is?
Yeah,
So we don't have to worry about anything.
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it is. So, are there any more questions?
No, it's clear.
All right, well, thank you for your attention, and cheers, mates.
Yes.
The shortest satsang ever, like a 2-minute Zen conference, yeah. What happens if we believe in this blue reality to be real? You know this metaphor, you've seen it a million times. Everything is the ocean, we're just a drop in the ocean. But once we are 1.5 years old, the brain for the first time is processing self-awareness. So if you have a child that's 1 year old and you place the child in front of a mirror, the child has got no clue who it is. From when you're 1.5, the child says, this is me. So 1.5 years, you're truly enlightened, life is bliss. And then it starts, I am separate. You suddenly think, this is me. This cat, for instance, it has got awareness, but it has no self-awareness. So it is aware of a projection in the mirror, but it is not self-aware. It doesn't realize that the projection It's great if you can keep yourself busy with that. I mean, like, I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous. Look, this monkey also hasn't got self-awareness, but gorillas and chimpanzees, they have. So this guy, he has got, he's aware that it's him. He's just looking at his teeth. And also, when a child is 1.5 years old and you place this green spot on the cheek, it's like, Mom, there's something here on my body. And also he is self-aware that there's something on his head. So So also elephants and dolphins have got this self-awareness, just like we do. But what happens when we think we're separate, then the next thought that pops up is like, I have to be good enough. And you're the whole day through busy with your self-image. What will people think of me? Will they like me? Am I beautiful enough? Am I smart enough? And this is when the ego starts, and it starts to ask the environment, please confirm me that I am good enough. The guy in this movie, is a guy with a huge ego. He comes to the camera and he says, people are constantly asking me what it's like to be a sex symbol. Look.
People are constantly asking me, what's it like to be a sex symbol?
Punish the ego, yeah. So the first struggle in our heads begin with the idea that I'm not good enough, and we find strategies. Some people become really dominant, aggressive, conflict-seeking, and also in companies, they're like these the testosterone guys pretending to be good enough. Actually, this insecure little puppet with a minority complex compensating, but they don't see it that way mostly. And the other one is pleasing. These people try to please everyone, to be good enough for someone else, because if I'm good enough for you, I'll be good enough. And that's where the struggle begins, also in relationships. It's this. The next illusion is we can control life. We can't at all. We have got like zero control, which is great, so you don't have to worry about anything. But as we believe we are in control, the struggle begins, because if something goes wrong, we become frustrated, because we think it could have been different from what it is. So that's this cloud, frustration. Then if we look at the future, there's fear. So what might be happening in the future? So we lay awake in bed and spinning, all the doom scenarios, etc. And if you think people could have done something different in the past, you start blaming people, but you also feel guilty because you think, I should have done it differently. You couldn't have done it differently. It's exactly as it is. This is it. But in our heads, this starts, and this gives us a lot of stress, suffering, and the struggle begins. And as this feels so terrible, we try to compensate, and I want to get rid of this suffering, and we're gonna buy stuff. And so we go to the shop and we buy a new car, new clothes, new shoes, and it works for a while. Because if you buy something, a little endorphin is released in the brain, and for a moment, you feel this light again. And then it's back. So we have this consuming society. We keep buying and buying and buying. Also, you can go drink beer, eat chocolate. There are a lot of strategies to get rid of the struggle. A lot of people like, I need therapy. There's something wrong with me. And you go to a therapist, and the therapist will tell you, yes, you are separate. You could have done it differently in the past. You have to be good enough. You have to be a better version of yourself. Oh, let's look at your frustration. Yeah, the past should have been different. And try to forgive your mom and dad. And oh man, it's just so they keep you busy forever. So, which is fine. It's also just happening. And I'm going to be spiritual. That's also, once I'm spiritual, the suffering will be gone. And you are starting to create this huge spiritual ego, and you suddenly think you are someone. But you're not only someone, you're someone who knows something. Yeah. Also in Advaita, by the way, there are a lot of Advaita egos. I am non-dual. I live in a non-dual, yeah, and I'm in the fifth dimension, and it's all a lie. It's all a lie. So what happens? We're like, help! And mostly, I think most of us were here, we have had so much suffering in our lives that Nisargadatta would say our ego is like a coconut. That's the right word, like? Oh, thank you. And it's been hit. You've got a crisis, you've got pain, suffering, and there comes a point when it breaks open. And that's the point where the body-mind system starts to, oh, maybe it's different. And it starts questioning itself. It starts questioning, who am I and what's happening? So a crisis can be very useful in that way. The great thing about non-duality is what I like is that this first idea is not even true. So it's not looking at all this blah, 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 blah. It's going directly to this one. There's no I. You are just consciousness at play. That's it. And once this is seen, then the process of awakening starts, and then this will disappear, not in one day. Can take some time. But once you're asleep, the self-awareness in the brain is turned off. You've got absolutely no idea that you are someone while sleeping, which makes sleeping very nice. You're not aware of it, that's the bummer. But and then you wake up, and the little self-awareness arises for a moment, and it's lovely. And then after a few seconds, it's like, ah! And you go to work, and here we go again with the whole blah blah blah. So yeah, non-duality is pointing at the illusion of I'm separate. You're not separate. We're all one. It seems we're separate because the brain is creating that illusion the whole day through. Okay. So life is simple, not easy. Another movie.
All there is this. And everything is just happening.
Yes, I understand, but then why is there so much suffering in the world?
Suffering happens.
Yeah, but how can you say that? I mean, last year I lost my job and I'm going through a real painful divorce at the moment.
Yeah. So?
Yeah. So?
Well, shouldn't we show some empathy for his problems?
No.
Maybe you can tell him how to deal with his suffering.
Suffering happens.
I get the sense that you're reacting to the audience rather than responding. You're reacting to everything that people are asking you rather than it being a true response coming from what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can tell the difference because I am enlightened.
So, are there any questions?
No.
No?
Good. See you next week.
And yeah, true. So what we're actually pointing at is like a dog has got a great life. It doesn't have this self-awareness and this struggle in his head. It just sees 4 trees and the sun. But we move around with like 10,000s of blah, 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 blah. And once it's seen that you're simply happening, that this is it, then this struggle will become less and less. And that's it. So, are there any questions? I'm going to take my gun out. Luckily, a question. Yeah.
But it's to say that linking it to the illusion that you demonstrated so bountifully, demonstrating our capacity for illusion.
Yeah.
And I think seeing those movie stars was one of the most dramatic. Seeing those 2 faces and then, I mean, just all those ways of going, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
And so that's like, to me, the most helpful piece here is to just go, that primary illusion is like really the linchpin. But I like somehow I want even more flavor of that, so that it's just like lasting, you know? That it's always there at the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, but it's coming closer. Thank you.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I use the illusions for companies a lot to show people that what you see is that this thing is creating an amazing illusion, by the way, but it's not real. That's so. Yeah, in the back. Thanks. No, you got a loud voice, don't you? Oh, for the camera. Okay.
Let's mirror experiment with dog and cats.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me see if I got your message right. So if I stand in front of the mirror and start to act as a dog,
Yeah.
that will be sign of my enlightenment.
So if what? Sorry.
This will be sign of my enlightenment. I lose everything. Like this is the picture of the dog, right? It looks like the dog is enlightened.
The dog is enlightened, yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know he's enlightened.
Yeah. So as soon as you lose it, we wanted to get enlightened and know about that, so we can tell other people. Like your guy who shoots one, right? It was more like a joke, yeah. But this is a really good point. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Can you pass the mic to the back, and then I'll...
So, Paul, you say you work with corporate guys?
Yeah.
And what's their reaction usually? I mean, this is a whole bunch of non-dual people.
Well, first I try to show them what they see is not real, and I do some magic tricks also. So their mind is like... and first of all, I want to make them laugh, because laughing is opening the mind. And then I go step by step, deeper and deeper. And it's amazing how far I can go. Sometimes I can totally go down the rabbit hole. And sometimes I have to be more careful, but it's just different with each audience. But there's no huge, if the audience is at this level to go here, they will not grab it. It's for me, it's the challenge to be here, so they can grab it, and one by one.
And so what do they do with your message?
I don't know. It's not in my hands either. I can see that some leaders have woken up during the years, but it's not thanks to me. I mean, it's just life expressing itself. And to be honest, I don't mind what's happening. It's either way good. If someone just, oh, it was fun, and moves on, it's fine. If someone gets it and the struggle in his life becomes less, it's fun. But I have no desire to wake people up or anything, because that would mean that I would say that there was something wrong with this, and there's nothing wrong with thoughts or struggle or fear. At the moment we think there's something wrong with our emotions, that's where the struggle begins. If you're sad, you're sad. If you're angry, you're angry. If you're happy, you're happy. It's all just happening.
So how do you judge how deep you should go down the rabbit hole? Audience.
I don't know, it's just the feeling in my stomach, I guess. I just feel if I connect with the audience, and then it's just feeling it. I cannot rationalize it.
So how was it different with this audience?
You're awesome. No. To me, what I love about this, you totally understand this message already, so we can just make fun, and I really feel a very light energy in this room. So to me, this is really, I'm grateful to be here now, absolutely.
Paul, thank you for that presentation. I love that, and I think a lot of people here really, really enjoyed that. My question is there any connection between science and non-duality?
Yeah. Well, the thing about non-duality is you cannot grasp non-duality. You can only point at the idea. So, because the eye can see but cannot see itself. So we have to do it with words and concepts and pointers. And you can point from a philosophical way or a science way, but it's either way, it's both not true. It are all concepts, but it's fun. I mean, we have a lot of fun and a lot of beer, and it's okay.
Thank you, but it seems to me like the science part comes from the part of the brain that's the 60% part.
Yeah, that's fun with science. We use our 60 bits, which is absolutely nothing, to understand the world. So, and the scientists, they all like, which is fine. I don't blame anyone, and I love science. I love reading about it, but we cannot know what is true, and that's fine. We don't have to know. It's just realization that you can be lazy. You don't even have to know that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
According to your calculations, the perception of a separate me, do you really think it's just within those 60 bits, or is it part of the 11 million?
Well, the 60 bits is your awareness, so that's all. Without these 60 bits, when you're in deeper sleeps, they are turned off, so there's no you. So we need this small consciousness of having the illusion that we are separate. But of course, by creating the illusion, the brain is at an unconscious level doing like 500,000 times as much as we are aware of. So we have got no idea what's happening here. We only see the outcome.
Yeah, I was just thinking that if you don't have the thought I'm separate,
yeah.
If you say, something else in your life, you deal with something else, and you're not thinking I'm separate, there's still the feeling for many people to be separate without actually having the thought of being separate.
True, being separate is also a sensation, like a feeling,
Yeah.
but they've done a lot of research now. When you're like totally in flow with something, like sports, reading a book, watching a movie, then the default system where the self-awareness is created is turned off. So the interesting thing from neuroscience is that we're actually not self-aware at all in many circumstances. But so if you're like reading a book and you close, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get some coffee. When people ask you, were you self-aware while reading the book? No! But the brain is creating an illusion afterwards, yes, I was constantly self-aware. So it's a magic trick. But they can measure that the self-awareness is turned off while reading. You are aware, but not self-aware. So I think for 60-70% of the day, you're not even self-aware.
So what happens when you die?
When you die, they put you in a coffin and bury you under. That's mostly the case. No, but you don't exist now either. This is an illusion. You cannot die. It's impossible. Okay, this little piece of energy will be eaten by worms. That will change. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Nope. They just happen. Insects have no awareness. They're just like robots. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. So what we really are, there's nothing. What we really are can never die. It's just expressing itself. But if you think you're the puppet, it's like this contracted feeling. If you know, wow, this is it. You're much more than just this puppet. Okay, last question. I don't know the time, but okay, yeah.
Can you tell us what was the last thing that triggered your ability to let go of the separate self?
I'm not letting go of anything. Liberation has nothing to do with doing things. It's an insight that suddenly integrates. So there was this realization, and there's nothing special about it, that this thing is just happening, and it's amazing. And true, I still have self-awareness, so for me it still seems like I'm talking to you and that I'm Paul, but there's this insight behind it that knows it's not true. So both realities, the blue and the red one, taking place at the same time. But for most people, they only have the blue one, and that gives a lot of struggle. But it's impossible to only have the red one. That's what some teachers say. No, I'm always the true boundlessness. I'm feeling one with everything. Impossible. Because if I hit you in the stomach, it's my stomach. Yeah. So it's okay. There's nothing special about any teacher. And that's the sexual selection within the body. We're programmed to sell a better version of ourselves, which is fine, but don't believe them all. It's like Buddha. If you meet the Buddha, kill him. Throw away all your gurus. Nonsense. Yeah.
But the thing that you sense behind you, as you call it, which is not your body and which is not Paul, which you can't define, you actually also sense that to be the only thing that really is. Is that not so? So you see all the other elements that may be fighting with you. You know, when you say you punch somebody in the tummy, you see this as a play within that no thing. Would that be correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
So in that sense, you do feel connected through the no thing with whatever happens, because the game is being played in that no thing. So you are, in that sense, one with everything.
In that sense, absolutely. But this is the inside of the red reality. So we play in this playground, but we know this to be real. So I'm talking to you, but I know I'm also you. So therefore, I can never blame you for anything. I can never hate you. There's just compassion, let's say, or you see the innocence of everything. Because there's no one doing it.
Yeah.
It's just you, as it's the universe playing the game. So, thank you very much. I loved you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.